Neela? Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Pakistan United States Alumni Network, I welcome you all to the Regional Alumni Virtual Monthly Dialogue Series 2021. I am Dr. Bishra Yasmin, Fulbright alumni. I am working at Fatma Jinnah Women University as Associate Professor of Economics and working as Associate Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. The theme of the talk, as you know, is sharing impact and best practices of AEIF and public diplomacy grant by USG alumni. And today we are joined with 6 promising USG alumni, to each from Bangladesh, Nepal, and Pakistan, who will share their USG experiences. And I hope we will be able to strengthen the network and promote regional integration through this platform. That is the much need of time, actually. Firstly, I would like to formally invite Mr. Philip, Acting Cultural Affairs Officer at US Embassy Islamabad, for his welcome remarks. Hand it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bushra. Very kind words, and very pleased to be with all of you today. On behalf of the U.S. mission to Pakistan, I welcome all of the U.S. government alumni from Bangladesh, Nepal, and Pakistan for this 12th monthly regional dialogue. In the past months, alumni from across the region have been able to share their efforts and their experiences in addressing a range of important issues that affect all of us in this region, including diversity, air quality issues, digital commerce, and protecting cultural heritage. They have been able to find solutions and best practices to these problems and issues. It's also quite humbling to read all of your profiles and backgrounds. As for, I know I can speak for here in Pakistan, but I know for all of our alumni around the world, it's very exciting to be a part of a movement of alumni who are leaders in their communities, finding solutions to common problems, and working hard to bring about positive change. In today's session, we have the chance to learn about the success and impact of alumni-led projects through the Alumni Engagement Fund and other alumni, USG-funded alumni projects and grants. We also have the chance today to not only share success stories, but to learn how each of you have managed to change challenges into opportunities and into solutions. A little bit, I think you're aware, but since 2011, the Pakistan-U.S. Alumni Network, or PUAN, has been involved in many in-person dialogues and also regional integration issues and networking opportunities. In fact, PUAN has hosted over 100 alumni from across this region in the last 7 years here in Islamabad. And also we've sent Pakistani alumni to conferences and master classes on areas of mutual interest. We also had 40 Pakistani alumni who went to the Model United Nations summits in Dhaka and Kathmandu. So that was very exciting. We're always looking for opportunities to share experiences across this region because there, in fact, is so much culturally, politically, socially, throughout the South Asian countries that it is, in fact, entirely appropriate that we should have dialogues such as this one to share solutions and ways to address common problems. And I already mentioned a couple of those issues earlier, but then we also, some of the big issues I think we're facing today are climate change, education, especially education for women, energy, governance, human rights, youth empowerment, just to name a few. And what's so exciting about this program is that it brings together you as alumni who are leaders in those very fields. Today's effort also is an opportunity that COVID-19 has posed. We, thanks to COVID-19, we've been doing pretty much exclusively virtual programs. Once things go back to in-person, we will of course return to in-person, but we'll still keep doing some virtual things because we have learned that there are opportunities such as this one to more easily connect. It's not the same as being in person, but it does allow an opportunity to share experiences and efforts, and it can provide you with a platform to develop new connections and explore ideas and make lasting friendships even. I would especially like to thank Dr. Bushra Yasmin, our moderator today, as well as our regional U.S. missions, American officers, and alumni coordinators, especially the PUAN team, for adding your alumni and making today's session possible. So thank you to all of you, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and it's very nice having you among us.
Thank you. My
Before
pleasure.
formally starting, we would like to take a picture. If all of you turn on your camera, and then on the count of 3, we will take it.
Let's wait for like 10 more seconds for our non-video participants in case they want to be part of the group photo, because I can still see a few who haven't turned on their cameras yet. Okay, so on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and if you guys can do me a favor to give me a thumbs up for this session, or for my next picture. Thank you. On the count of 3, please. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Bushra.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Without further ado, I would like to invite our guest speakers, Ms. Naher and Mr. Zaman from Bangladesh, Mr. Pawan and Mr. Suroj from Nepal, and Ms. Tanya and Dr. Bushra Rahim from Pakistan for their brief introduction in the same order. So we will be starting from Ms. Naher from Bangladesh.
Thank you, Dr. Bushra. I would like to start thanking Pakistan-U.S. Alumni Network for organizing this program and inviting me. So hello, everyone. My name is Laijun Nahar. I'm a science teacher from Bangladesh. I have participated in U.S. State Department funded teacher exchange program that was International Leaders in Education program in 2018. And this was the program that completely changed my perspective as a teacher. And as I came back to my country, I wanted my colleagues, the teachers of Bangladesh, to experience the test of the best part of teaching, that is designing lesson to make it fun and engaging. So to implement my ideas, I started writing for grants, and I got teacher teacher grant 2018, and that was global teacher grant 2018, and also AEIF 2019. However, I think that I should know more about education if I really want to bring positive changes to the education system of my country. That's why I have recently started my doctoral program in education in the United States. So that was the short intro about myself. Over to you, Dr. Bushra.
Thank you so much. Next, Mr. Daman, Mr. Midaban.
Hello, this is Masroor. My complete name is Mir Masroor Zaman. Virtually, I'm a journalist. I work as a senior news editor of a private television channel that is called Channel I in Dhaka. And side by side, I teach as a part-time faculty in the University of Dhaka. I teach television journalism over there. And I am one of the founder directors of a development organization, media-focused development organization that is called Society for Media and Suitable Human Communication Techniques. In short, in Bangladesh is Shomoshti. I participated in International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP, in 2013. And my Alumni Innovation, Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund program is called Internet Safety and Security Literacy for School Children. And I was awarded in 2019. So that's in a nutshell about me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. The next is Mr. Pawan from Nepal. Sir, if you turn on your mic. I think we are not listening you. You are not audible. If you check your. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, now it's fine.
Okay. Thank you, PUAN, for this opportunity. This is Major Pawan Gimere and IBLP participants for the year 2016 under the theme Access for All, Enhancing the Life of Persons with Disability, and AEIF grant winner for the year 2017 to conduct sports for women with disability, and one among the 80 phases of exchange chosen by Department of States during their 80th years of IBLP exchange program celebration. I'm a visually impaired guy. I lost vision of my both eyes in 2003 during the 10 years long armed conflict in Nepal. Struggling with my blindness for 3 years, I started the second inning of my life as a cricketer. I'm the promoter of blind cricket in Nepal and the founder of blind women cricket team in the world. As a cricketer, I have traveled to Pakistan for 5 times. I'm also serving in Nepal Army as the second in command of sports and physical training center, especially taking care of the sports of disabled army. This is all about me, and my connection with different social activities is in the bios. Hope you have read it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Mr. Saroj from Nepal.
Namaste all, I'm Saroj Bista. I was an exchange alumni in the year 2016 and participated in the Community Solutions Program, CSP in short. And I'm here today to share my experiences as an AEIF grantee in the year 2017 on behalf of Community Solutions Initiative. And currently I'm serving as the president of Nepal-U.S. Alumni Network and trying to learn the ways how PUAN has established itself as a pioneer institution. So a little less something like a beginner in the sense. And my core area of work and expertise is data transparency and good governance. I work with governments here in Nepal. And apart from that, I try to manage, I love managing some time in the morning for some cycling. So that is my hobby. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sanya from Pakistan.
Thank you, everyone. Pleasure to be here, and thank you, PUAN, for the invitation. I'm Sania Jaz. I'm currently working as a manager of corporate innovation at Telenor, Pakistan. But for the past 6-7 years, I've been working in the startup space with different incubators, accelerators, as well. I'm also a community builder, so I'm working with different communities. I'm helping Amazon Web Services with their community building, Global Entrepreneurship Network, the CMX Network, and I was also part of the IVLP program for women in entrepreneurship, where 54 women from across the globe were together. It was a very multi-regional program. I also helped develop the curriculum for startups in Pakistan. I'm one of the people who co-developed the curriculum. And part of my program, or part of the AEIF grant that we did, was to promote community journalism. So we introduced a program called the Next Generation of Journalists. And of course, I will tell you more about that in a while. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bishra. Please turn on your.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me, right? I'm Bushra Rahim, and I'm a Fulbright alumna. I did my PhD in Education, Administration, and Policy in 2015. I'm a career civil servant in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. Currently, I'm posted in Excise Taxation and Narcotics Control Department. Besides, I'm president of Fulbright Alumni Association Khyber Pakhtunkhwa chapter. I have also co-founded an NGO which is called Development Agent of Change in Peshawar. I'm also president of Association of Business Professional and Agricultural Women that works for women and children in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And lastly, I was the AEIF grantee in 2016, and my topic was about building the capacity of women counselors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, about which I'll talk in detail later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are having really such committed and accomplished personalities with us. Let us move on to the discussion. I will request the speaker to please in the same order share your project title, objectives, the challenges you faced and how you tackle them, and just a brief picture of the success story. We have reserved 2 to 3 minutes for each participant. So we will again start in the same order. Ms. Nair, we will start from you again.
Okay, thank you again. So I'm a science teacher, and the project that I have been doing is it was inquiry-based learning to promote science education. So the main program goal of this project was to create an environment where the science teachers can experience designing inquiry-based learning lessons by themselves. And one of the problem in my country is the teachers usually follow the ready-made lessons that is provided to them, or they follow the textbook. So when they're following the textbook lessons for hands-on activities, often the resources are not available, and the problem is they do not know how to design or modify their own lesson using the local available or inexpensive material. So this was the main target of the project, to bring teachers into the environment where the teachers will follow how to design their own experiment for their kids using the available materials, and so that they can make the lesson fun and engaging for the students. And also our another goal was to so that the students they can experience how to conduct scientific procedures step by step and write lab reports. They can design the posters that from their own investigation and present publicly. So the whole program was designed for 40 teachers and 200 students of Bangladesh. It was divided into 2 phases, urban and rural phase. And the urban phase, we have successfully completed the urban phase. The rural phase is on hold due to COVID situation. We are still working on that. I would also like to share the long-term goal of this program. So thinking about the long-term impact, the project decided to publish whatever the teachers design, the lessons on inquiry-based learning, to publish that, so that that publication can be used as a resources for the teachers of the other part of this country. So they will be encouraged to design their own lessons for science and practice more hands-on activities in the class. And also we invited the curriculum expert, especially the science curriculum expert and designer of the country in our project. We invited them time to time in different project activities, because we wanted the curriculum of the country to be modified in a way so that it can adopt inquiry-based learning as a definite part of the science education. So that's all about my project. I'm ready to answer any questions if you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is really contributing, actually challenging the status quo, because I also belong to education institute, and I know how much it's difficult and challenging to let them bring on the same page and challenging this status quo. Actually, thank you so much. We will come back to you again. Now I will request Mr. Amir Dama if he can share. Please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Bushra Yasmin, for giving me the floor. And as I have already mentioned, my project title is Internet Safety and Security, Security Literacy for School Children. Actually, as you know, while the internet benefits a rapidly growing number of users in Bangladesh, it poses cybercrime threats to and other complications as well, especially to new users. So the project works to reduce the internet-induced vulnerability of school and madrasa children. The activities of the project includes assess the current level of students' understanding of cyber security and determining their needs, to develop communication materials for school messaging and opinion platform, an online platform, and to hold meetings with district and sub-district level education officials, to develop field level other interaction with trainers and other stakeholders, conducting trainings for school and madrasa children, and advocate with teachers and teachers training institutes to include the cyber security issue for the children, and to hold dialogue with other policymakers so that this initiative can be sustainable. So actually we have developed curriculum and other communication materials for our targeted school children, and we have done the need assessment and all that. But after that, the COVID started, and the main field level activities, that is the training sessions among that we targeted to hold among 75,000 students from 100 schools, that was actually on hold. And now we need to do that online. And now we are on the way to shift the training sessions online, and we're developing e-learning materials and curriculums. And now we are trying to develop our trainers to do their sessions online. So that's in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was enriching. Now we move on to our speakers from Nepal. Mr. Pavan, if you turn on your mic and share your experience with us. What was your major project and the success story?
Thank you very much. So I'll just start from little back. Status of girls with disability in Nepal is not that much satisfactory because they have to face a double discrimination of being woman and disability in one. As a chairman of Cricket Association Blind Nepal and the promoter of Blind Women Cricket in Nepal, I had the ample opportunity to witness the competency of blind girls from very close distance. I found them as active and as energetic in the field of play like the blind boys, though they had to struggle a lot before reaching to the cricket ground. Me and my team really struggled hard to bring them to the cricket ground, as communities were not supportive, families and teachers were against them, and infrastructures were not accessible for the girls with disability. In fact, I had the similar feelings for other girls with disability as well. But instead, I could not do anything for them because I didn't have resources and I was not in close contact with other disability support organizations as well. In 2016, during my IBLP visit, I met many female athletes with disability being supported by others with different disabilities, and that became a motivational factor for me. In 2017, I got the AEIF grant to conduct sports for women with disability. Taking Cricket Association of the Blind Nepal as an implementing partner, I was able to conduct race for deaf girl, cricket for blind girl, basketball for a woman in a wheelchair, Bushia game for girls with cerebral palsy and mental disabilities, and swimming for girls with mixed disabilities. The one great thing that I would like to share as an impact of AEIF, the top 15 girls selected from blind women cricket competition got an opportunity to travel to Pakistan to play the ever first international blind women cricket series between Nepalese blind girls and the Pakistani blind girls. Nepalese blind girls won all the matches, and back in Nepal, for the first time in the history of Nepal, these blind girls got national award. In fact, this AIF grant helped the blind girls from two different countries who had different language, culture, and religion come together and share the feelings and build up harmonic relationship. Still, they are in close contact with each other. Over 200 girls with visual disabilities, over 200 girls with disabilities got benefited from this project. The objective of my project was not so hard, not so big. It was just very simple. It is just to bring smile in disabled girls, make them feel that they can play, and make them feel that they are as equal as other boys. In this regard, I became successful in bringing the smile in the disabled faces, and prove that sports is not about male or female thing. It's not about ability or disability. It's all about skill thing. And if opportunity is being given, even the girls with disability can be as productive and play as actively as other general boys. And regarding the challenges, this event almost became one-man army because two of my friends left in between for their abroad study, and I had to complete the rest of my activities alone. Nevertheless, with the help of other sports organization and the Cricket Association Nepal, I conducted my project successfully. And like me, those who have dreamed to implement, but looking for the grant. So AIF is, I think AIF is the best place to apply. So having said this, I would like to conclude, and I expect questions if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. This was highly motivational, actually. And now we move on to Mr. Saroj from the same country, Nepal. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bushra. So I have to go back to 2017 when we conducted the project titling Empowering Nepali Democracy Movement. At that time, we had election of the federal parliament. Sorry. At that time, we had elections at the federal parliament, and also followed by a number of incidents of human rights violations, attacks on media personnels or journalists at that time, especially in the southern plains, and where we actually made our focus of the event. So the project was a composite of two different things. So one was the in-person training with human rights defenders, journalists, human rights activists, and also making available digital platforms for common learning and sharing. So what we did it differently was we chose young human rights activists or young journalists who were actually pursuing their career in this subject matter, because these groups are who we are talking about, who we targeted are in fact the less reached out communities. So as an output, as a win of the project, what we achieved was we were able to establish a strong coalition of more than 90 young human rights activists, young human rights defenders, journalists, who we see, in fact, even sharing and learning about their experiences, their findings even today. So we are really happy to see that. And also the online platform that we did, online course that people could enroll and get benefited by completing the course, getting certificate of accomplishment, completion of the courses and all. So these were some of the wins that I have to put here, but that does not come alone. That we also face several challenges. For example, having 90 people to herd and reach out, and also attracting new people to enroll into the systems and so on and so forth. So these were some of the challenges that we've been facing. But as a part of the learning, I really have to put two things together here. So the AEIF grant has a cap, has a capacity, has a limitation that the resources and the aim that we pursue to reach is always conflicting. So at that, in those situations, what we did was we always try to mine local resources, local expertise. So that has two advantages. So one was to add local context when you deliver the subject matter or content or the subject matter that people would find relevant and interesting and actually actionable. And the second thing is about the resources that we save from having a very renowned trainer from the capital city go around the cities, reach out to them, right? So paying them expensive fees and all. So having local resources expertise, utilizing them was one of the learning that we did. And even today, at my current capacity as the president of Nepal-U.S. Alumni Network, this is a great leadership learning for me, where we have to engineer and re-engineer the process, the engagement strategies with U.S. alumni, USC alumni, and accommodate that diversity. Yeah, and have and try to generate more output out of the resources that we have. So it's still relevant today. So very happy to take your questions. So I'll rest for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very informative. Let us turn to the alumni from Pakistan. So Ms. Sania.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll start with just giving you guys a brief introduction of what the next generation of journalists, or what was the vision behind this project. So the democratic process, obviously, as you all know, is built on accurate and evenly distributed information and analysis. And that's where good democracy and government comes in, where we have well-informed citizens who can decide who represents them and what policies they put in place. But obviously we live in this world, and there are online posts of fabricated information driven by political agendas, profits, conspiracies, all of that, and they do spread like wildfire. And this misinformation and mistrust increases globally. Objective journalism becomes more crucial. So we started with this vision, and then obviously we wanted to target a place, ravaged area like FATA and KP. So freedom of expression is really obstructed over there. And then community journalism at this point in time plays a vital role in reconnecting that fabric of society that's shattered by the unending war. We decided to partner with another organization called the Centrum Media, who's very experienced in journalism and community journalism. And we created this 6-month-long community journalism program. We designed it to deliver hands-on practical video journalism skills to the next generation journalists. But training a journalist alone was not sufficient. There was a dire need for professional digital platforms that was circulating trustworthy news. So we created the Next Gen Journalist platform, where all the applicants, all the people who wanted to be a part of this community journalism program could be a part of it on Facebook and Instagram. And then obviously this was not just the purpose of it. We created WhatsApp groups. Those groups are still very active. These are people from KPK, FATA, providing hope, sharing news, sharing stories, and obviously doing all of that after they have reached some sort of training and digital skills from us through this program. So the impact was really great. We did self-assessments of the participants before and after, and we got to know that they really had, at first, obviously, if their knowledge was 2%, after the training sessions, their knowledge was 9%, 10%. Some of the participants from our program then were also reached out by Geo and a lot of different news channels because they wanted such journalists onto their platform. So they obviously entered as a basic entry-level position, but they were able to do that through this program. And still to date, in the WhatsApp groups, it's been a year, more than a year that we did this program. And one of the challenges that we faced was that COVID came right in the middle of the program. So we had to really convert everything from physical trainings to online virtual trainings and all the coordinations and everything. But to date, these groups are active. We have more than 100 journalists on this platform community who are promoting community journalism and sharing news from their regions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. After listening to you, I realized that this is just a novelty that you have brought in the media studies. Again, the same we have been talking about, that moving away from the textbook culture. Now, last but not the least, Dr. Bushra Rahim, I hand it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bushra Yasmin. Actually, the idea of my project was conceived in 2016. And like I mentioned earlier, that it was about training the women counselors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And at that time, I was, like I mentioned initially, that I'm a civil servant. So at that time, I was posted in Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Department. In 2015, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, local bodies elections were held. And these were the first local bodies elections in 10 years after the last local government elections were held in February 2005. The 2015 elections resulted in transfer of political power to the lowest tiers of the government, as you are aware of the political and bureaucratic structure of Pakistan. So districts and tehsils, which is sub-districts, village and neighborhood councils. So autonomy or power was shifted from the central level to these sub-levels. So nearly 7,000 women councillors in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa were elected against the reserved seats for women out of 42,000 councillors in the province. The election of 7,000 women councillors in a conservative province like Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it was a major and bold step by these women. As you know, the female literacy rate is 36%. I'm talking about the statistics in 2015-16. And in some districts, the literacy rate of female is less than 5%, and women have little access to and the knowledge about bureaucracy, politics, judiciary, and institutions of human rights. So in that backdrop, it was a bold step for these women to come out and run these areas. The women councillors were predominantly, they were unaware of their roles and responsibilities, and they lacked knowledge about rules of business, budget rules, and bylaws. As a result, they were unable to work for women's interests and could not succeed in making radical shift in policy and development priorities in the local government system. So hence I felt the need to build the capacity of women councillors so they can effectively participate in the affairs of the local governments and initiate and implement small development projects for the uplift of women in their villages or neighborhoods. Like I mentioned, I was posted in local government department, and I was aware of the whole political scenario and the issues that these women councillors were facing. So I put forward this idea about building the capacity of women councillors. The project was implemented with the support of Development Agent of Change, which is a local non-for-profit organization. And this project was implemented in 4 tehsils, which is sub-districts of 4 districts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And these districts were Kohat, Sawabi, Abbottabad, and Malakand. And these women councillors, they were trained in a Local Government Act in 4 areas. In Local Government Act 2013, developing budgeting cycle and laws that govern protection of women rights and local government rules of business. So this is important to give a brief overview of the how I conceived this project. Challenges that we faced in this regard were, I would like to talk about 3 major challenges. Like I mentioned, illiteracy was a major challenge for us because these women councillors, they were predominantly illiterate, affixing thumb impression on attendance sheet instead of signing, and were unable to utter a single word in Urdu or English. So what we did was that we because we were local, and so the resource person used local language, Pashto or Urdu in Abbottabad, and used simple and easy techniques to explain complex terminologies, because you know explaining budget and explaining local government system is very, very technical. And for these ordinary simple women, explaining such jargons was very difficult. The second technique that we adopted was that these participants were distributed in small groups so that we can give them individual attention. The third option that we adopted was that we heard them patiently and we encouraged them to participate in discussion and ask questions. So that's why the sessions were very engaging. The second issue that we faced, and we didn't conceived it when we were writing proposal, it was about transportation charges. And the women counselors, they were daily coming from far off villages in public transport, and it would take them 1 hour or 1.5 hours to reach to the venue. They were often relying on their husbands or male family members for daily transportation charges. They were so poor that even they were dependent to attend those sessions. They were dependent on their male members. So what we did was that then from our own resources, then we tried to compensate them and so that and to facilitate their attendance. The third major challenge that we faced was adherence to local culture and traditions. Like I mentioned, we selected rural tehsils, and the people are very sensitive there about local culture and traditions. So almost all the ladies that would attend these sessions, they were accompanied by male attendants or a chaperone to escort them back home. So how we cope with this issue, because like budget is always limited and it is for intended target audience, so it was difficult for us to entertain the chaperone or the male attendants. But again, the development agent of a change, a local non-profit organization, supported us, and we served them lunch and tea, and we made sure that there's a place that they can sit there and while their female members are attending sessions. These were some of the steps that we took to overcome the challenges. The success, although it was implemented in 2016 and 17, you would not believe that we are still in contact with those women, although I have changed many ministries since then. One of the women who was very vocal, and she requested that she knows she has received vocational training and she wanted to establish a vocational center for them. Like in the introduction, I mentioned that I also work as president of Association of Business Professional and Agricultural Women. And in that capacity, we empower women financially by giving them trainings in these skills. So we established skill development center in her house, and now her daughter is going to be a village counselor soon. This is one of the success that is still we are in contact with, and we can cherish about. Another exciting or interesting thing that we observed was that we invited the district Nazims or Tehsil Nazims to give away certificates to women counselors. And I was very surprised to know that this was their first interaction with these women counselors since the elections. Nazims were unaware of the challenges these women counselors were facing, and women counselors had never had an opportunity to share their issues collectively with the Nazims or Tehsil Nazims, and even the assistant director local government who is sitting there in their district. They were not in contact with each other. So I was aware. So we made an effort to go out the scope of this project, and we connected these Nazims and the bureaucrats with these women, because like I mentioned earlier, that the men were shy of these women, and these women were shy and illiterate, and they could not approach them. So we bridged that gap as well. The third story that came out was that when she was with me in that program on Voice of America, which was anchored directly from Washington, D.C., that women counselor said that this training program opened our eyes and illuminated our minds, and we are feeling very happy and satisfied with the training. So I was happy that at least we gave voice to those women who were not heard before. We worked closely with the public affairs officer and alumni coordinator, Mr. Usman Siddiq, and as a result, the AEIF team was able to complete the project. And there are many more success stories, but I think I would not take more minutes, and I would like to pass on to Dr. Yasmin, and then we can take questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was very much enriching. And actually, this is the devolution that actually we need not only in KPK, but all other our provinces. Because I have been working on fiscal decentralization these days using the data, and I attended a conference of SANAM from the platform of Bangladesh. And I saw that this devolution has been much more successful in Bangladesh. So if Meg had some idea, she can shed a bit of light on that. Thank you so much. This was very much enriching listening to your experience. And now this is the time for open discussion. We have 30 minutes for this session. I will like to start it from my own question that I have in mind while listening to you. And then I will like all of you to interact with each other if you have any question in your mind, and you can ask from each other. Um, while I was listening, and I realized that how much all of you so strong in the face of various challenges, and how much you were able to successfully accomplish your project. Um, as I have also done an alumni small grant on countering COVID-19, and I conducted workshops and prepared a toolkit with the help of my team. And the main theme was post-pandemic mental health and well-being of working women and men. Once I done with it, and then I got busy in my other projects. I thought that this would not be sustainable, but later on I realized that the experience actually I gained from the alumni small grant added up to my knowledge, and that actually helped me in strengthening and improving my current projects. Like I was working on one of the Australia Award project, and the another is the Higher Education Commission project, other than direct beneficiaries of that project. So from that context, this come in my mind that I would like to ask from you that where do you stand your project? How much was it sustainable over the time period that it's not was not like an open and shut case, rather how you were able to take ahead and all those direct or indirect benefits to achieve from these projects? How much you think that you were able to sustain them, and how much you think that these are sustainable? So I invite any one of you who want to shed light, because just now we have listened from Dr. Bishra Rahim. That was more about how she made it sustainable. So I will like to listen from others as well. So opening this forum on discussion on the sustainability of the project. Anyone can take lead. Just turn on your mic. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to share my project, sustainability plan. So the main thing was to basically train the science teachers, and we often organize quick training sessions. But my session, it was in two phases, urban phase and rural phase. And we completed the urban phase. It was 5 months long program, and teachers initially got basic training. Then we provided the teachers the a little laboratory materials. So even if the school do not have the lab materials, they could start with the that we provided with the fund. And then we provided a model inquiry based learning, so that the teachers can start following the simple step. at their school with their students. And the next step was the way they followed the previous model steps. They designed their own project, the own inquiry based learning. They designed their own lesson. And those teachers in that phase, when they were designing the lesson, they also involved the students actively. Many students group, they designed the lesson actually. So it was like not only guided inquiry, but it was open-ended inquiry, and students started working on that with the teachers. So what happened over the 5 months period, when the urban phase we have been implementing, it also impacted the other teachers of that school, because for urban phase we have selected 20 teachers from 5 different schools of Dhaka. So 5 science teachers from one school mean there are many other science teachers. They could see what's going on and how the students are learning, and the kind of at the end of the phase, the students prepare posters on their investigation findings, and they presented in a poster fair. Also, they brought their poster back to their campus. It was in their campus, so that all teachers and students can see, uh, I mean, know about the project and how the students are learning. So it was kind of involving 5 teachers from one school, but indirectly involved all teachers of the school. And giving the message that science teaching could be done in more hands-on approach. So this was one of the thing, and I already mentioned that we have a plan to publish the teachers designed lessons. So these are the thing we wanted the teachers to have the ownership of their work, so that they can because they are the one who interact with their students. They know how they can make the students engaged, and how they can teach them. So when the teachers are in inactive role in science teaching, they're just following the textbook, then whenever they fail to follow the steps because of any single ingredient is not there in the lab, they just skip it. This is the normal scenario in my country, especially for science. So this was one approach to show them that no, you can modify your science activity, and still hands-on activities can be there in the classroom. So a basic sustainability plan was to develop the school culture, which will take the, integrate the inquiry-based learning in the science teaching.
Thank you so much. If anyone other want to shed light from the sustainability point of view on the project, otherwise we will move to other questions and interactive session.
Thank you.
Yeah, may I add something?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So our plan was almost same as Liza Nahar was mentioning, to transfer the technology to the mainstream actually. Since our project was to train school children, school and madrasa children on safety and security mechanism in internet. So we have planned to transfer our training curriculum to the teachers. And to do that in a large scale, we planned to advocate with teachers training colleges in the country, so that they can include the curriculum on their in their own teachers training curriculum. So a large number of teachers, almost all the teachers of Bangladesh, will be covered through that training or through that curriculum. So that was primarily our sustainability plan. And to do that, to transfer the training module or training curriculum to the teachers training college, we planned to advocate with government level, education level policymakers also, so that the teachers training colleges are convinced to accept our internet safety and security literacy curriculum for the students training. So yeah, that's enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see raised hand by Ms. Sania and Dr. Bishra. It's a good approach. If any other want to contribute, they can raise their hand and I will ask them one by one. Ms. Sania, over to you.
Thank you so much. So I would just like to add a couple of things here. When we also started this, and obviously we were proposing for the grant, we wanted to make sure that there is longevity of this program. I did not know at that time how we're going to do this. At first, our initial reaction was just so that we deliver these digital journalism boot camps and deliver the skills. But we realized that there is power in community building. There is power in learning from each other when you are part of a community, and that's where we created WhatsApp groups. We created social media, Slack channels, and Facebook page for the next gen journalists. So what we are doing now is that we have a community of the next gen journalists, the next generation of journalists. And in those two things, what we decided to do was that we will reach out to the aspiring journalists, so people who want to be students of mass media communications in universities. And then there would be mid-career journalists who want to practice and learn new things or deliver hands-on skills, learn hands-on skills so that they can enhance and get better jobs and go with better organizations as well. So what started happening, we did not realize this, but what started happening was that people who were in their mid-careers started teaching, because they were part of the community, they started teaching the aspiring journalists as well. So our whole concept of community journalism really came to life. And that's the reason why I feel that we were able to sustain that network still to date, because everyone was really learning from each other. And then even now, if we feel like we want to continue this project and we want to do some more things, we will reach out to this community, obviously keep adding to more people to it, but reach out to this community to give on mentorship, to give trainings, and to coach the other aspiring journalists as well. So that's basically my take on how we were able to sustain and make sure that there is longevity in this process or in this program. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy that these projects are much more sustainable. I think US and PUAN has much role in this. Otherwise, in other projects, I see when it's finished, it's done. And we have even to return the money to HEC for not utilizing all the money in our project. So next, Dr. Vishra, you want to share your experience?
Yeah, thank you. Like I mentioned that in one of the districts, we established a skill development center, and because that women counselor, she was also a vocational trainer, and so she trained many women in her community in stitching and tailoring and embroidery. And so this was one of the aspects of this project. And another was that once we visited a village in connection with another project, and there a girl, she stood up, and she was very active, and she was in grade 8 in a rural area in district Sawabi. And we were talking to her, and she said that I'm interested to continue my education, but my father and my uncle, they are not allowing me to continue schooling. And because they respected me a lot, and because I had visited that community, and because they know about my academic and professional career, so I talked to those men. And like men, they don't like to, or they are reluctant to talk to women as strangers. But when I talked to her father and her uncle, and they readily said, no, we don't have any objection on her education, and she can continue her education. So that was another, I think, the strength of our project, that we build connections with communities. So our beneficiaries were 308 women counselors, but now their sons, their daughters, and their sisters, and other women in their community, they are getting benefits from that training. So that was the second thing. Third thing that I'm hearing from these women counselors in other meetings is that they have now encouraged their women in their family or in their community to enter in politics and to win elections and all this. So this is another aspect that I'm hearing from them as well. A fourth one is that these women counselors were part of parent-teacher councils, and they were also part of child protection committees. And you know the role of parent-teacher councils, maybe it's in our South Asian countries, and it's all over the world. In all the schools they are called parent-teacher councils, parent-teacher associations, EMCs, and all these terms. And these are committees that oversee the work of the schools. So we not only we train them in all these local government aspects and the budget aspect and women rights and all these things, we also encourage them to take active part in parent-teacher councils and child protection committee as well. The final thing that we can call a success of this project is that we are nowadays imparting sessions on we are training these children in the schools to protect them from child abuse and all the violence that they are facing inside their homes and outside their homes. So child protection committees have an important role from the government, and they have also been involved in this project as well. So these are some of the benefits that I think the communities are still reaping due to our AEIF project that we did in 2016-17.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Dr. Bishra. Now we turn to our participant from Nepal. I will request Mr. Pawan if he want to say something from the sustainability point of view or any other thing. And I have one question from you as well. I just want to ask that how much support did you get from your peers when you were doing your research or you were doing your project actually? And secondly, if you can give us a little idea that what if actually I want to have a comparative look of Pakistan with your country, that what type of the measures have been adopted to facilitate the people with special need. If you can put the light on this one. Mr. Pawan, hand it over to you, please. You turn on your mic and you can participate.
Thank you very much for the question. So to conduct this project, I got around $23,500 USD. So though the grant was not enough, but it's big enough to initiate the ideas that was in me, because as I said earlier, the status of girls with disability in Nepal is not satisfactory, and in this context, it's not easy for them to participate in sports and recreational activities when they are not getting proper time to get educated. So in order to sustain the project, I had similar ideas like others, that is to transport the skills to other organizations. And because during that project, we have conducted the project with the help of other sports organizations as well. So what I did during each event, I prepared one coaches for each event. For example, for blind cricket also there was one coach, and for swimming also we prepared one coach, and for basketball and everything we gave one coach to each organization. And besides that, also we also formed the self-help group of disabled women athletes, so that they can raise voice and they can communicate each other, and they can think ideas about continuing their playing activities and all. And because of this, these girls are still playing sports activities, may not be regularly, but the girls are getting ample of opportunities to play. Regarding your second question, the status of blind girl and the girls with special need in Nepal and Pakistan is almost different, but Nepal is much more a little bit liberal country than Pakistan, because the girls are still in restriction in Pakistan, as I feel, because our girls are getting education in integrated schools. But since I have been to Pakistan for 5 times and got opportunity to interact with them, most of these girls or these people with special needs, they are educated in special education schools. So during the school time, they do not get opportunity to interact with the other general peers and other things, religiously. And also I think there is some restriction to the girls, and this has been very, little bit, challenging for girls with disability in Pakistan, because there are a lot of other restrictions as well. But in Nepal, though families are still negative, they are not that much supportive in case of girls with disability. I think the status of girls with disability or the people with disability in Nepal and Pakistan is almost 19 to 20, not much big difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's very much inspiring. Mr. Suroj, if you want to share something, I will request you to please turn on your mic.
Yes, sure. In the part of sustainability, I just wanted to put on my remarks and like my observation on how we should take this sustainability point of thing when conducting the project. So in my case, the project that I led was the need of the time, where the issues of the attacks on the reporters, right? So human rights violations, threats to safe reporting, data protection, and all was something a crucial issue or pressing problem of that time. And the way we gathered youths, talked about this and expected them to conduct further trainings or knowledge transfer events or some measures to transfer the knowledge was something that was exactly out of our reach sometimes, because youths, youths sometimes go away, to prefer different professions and things. So out of so many people that we reached out, we were able to actually heard only a handful of youths who would actually still in contact with us and who have been telling that they have been reaching out to others in terms of spreading the knowledge and learning. So in order to ensure the sustainability of the spirit that we took at that time, I think over the years, it's already been 4 odd years, that and I think it is now time that we reinvent the wheel, re-engineer the process, and actually integrate the new realizations over the time. So as a part of the synopsis presentation, I got to hear the project of Mr. Mia, which was really interesting, that he has been leading lessons on internet security while using the internet and reaching out to school level students, and eventually trying to hand over or transfer the curriculum to the school administration. So that is something that we, as a part of safe data security and things that we can actually learn from his experience in its country, and see if we can replicate those knowledge here. And similarly with, and I was amazed to see the awards that Miss Sania, if I pronounced your name correctly, was to develop the next generation journalism, having 100 beneficiaries, which are mentoring them, and again expecting them to impart, spread that knowledge and skills, and which is eventually growing. So this is something, in my opinion as well, that we can integrate or we can learn from those experiences. So I guess this event as such has really helped me to actually find my peers who I would like to connect even after this end of this session. So just an observation, just from my heart, that my opinion, my observation that I got. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good observation. Actually, we are running short of time. We want to listen more and more from you, but we have to close this discussion session here. Later on, you can interact with each other, and you can even develop some more projects all together. So thank you so much for your kind words and your participation. And finally, we would like to take one major takeaway of this session, just in 1 minute from each of you. Again, we will be following the same order. That one takeaway from this session. Ms. Naher, we start from you.
Yeah, thank you. So it was great hearing from all these awesome project ideas, and I came to know that you also worked with the like young students, school going students, that Dr. Bushra, she mentioned she was developing a women counselor, but it also affected the young girls of school going girls. This is amazing to hear from her, and from Mashrud Jaman sir, that he's working with the school children, and also from everyone. So it was really enriching experience for me, kind of learning experience for me, that I learned so much. But I would also request you to, if it is possible, to share your social media page or Facebook page where you develop the community for your project, so that we can see each other projects, and we can go for further collaboration if possible in the future. So if we post our, if we give the link of our social media page in the WhatsApp group that is already created for this group, will be awesome. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The next victim is Zaman.
Yeah,
One
thank you
take.
very much. Thank you very much for organizing such a nice platform for us. And yeah, almost all every presentations actually attracted me, fascinated me, and I've come to be introduced with new ideas, new way of works in our own territories and within our own context. So it was very nice experience to be in this interaction. So actually, what I like to take away with me, I think this connection and the further opportunity of being connected with this network. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Pavan, if you turn your mic and share one of your takeaway from this session. Mr. Pavan, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
Please share your takeaway. Yes, yes, we can.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this event is really, and lesson learning, and such a knowledgeable for me, because I got to know about many innovative ideas that happen through the AEIF grant. And it also provided us to be in contact with each other, because as I said earlier, I've been to Pakistan for 5 times, but I was not in contact with you people. And because of this, even now I'm in contact, and I think we'll keep on continuing our relationship after this project. And I'm very much thankful to PUAN and for organizing such an opportunity, and to Nepal U.S. Embassy also, who consider me to share my ideas for this project, and hope to see you again. Thank you very much.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Mr. Saroj.
I guess I already exploited my the time that was allotted for me. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Ms. Tanya.
Thank you. This was quite a pleasure. I'm really thankful to the PUAN team for inviting me. I got to learn about a lot of different projects, and obviously it made me feel that I'm part of a bigger community, the PUAN community. All of you have been part of some sort of program, the IBLP, Fulbright. So it just makes me feel really good to be part of such a community. And I think one other key takeaway for me is Shahid Saab's Turkish dramas that he's watching, the soap opera. So I think that's something that I would take away and have a look at. I would really like to see what he's been watching as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishra.
Thank you, Dr. Yasmin. It was really nice hearing to all these leaders, community leaders from different countries in South Asia. I know it is very difficult to conceive a project and then implement it successfully. So I congratulate every one of you who have conceived these ideas and have implemented it, and you are leaders in your communities. So that is one thing. And another thing, I'm especially inspired from Mr. Pawan, that despite the fact that he is specially abled, he continued his education, he is working on projects, he is taking along so many other people from marginalized communities with him. So I'm really impressed, and I think that it made my day today, and it's really inspirational for me. So whenever I'll feel down, so I'll think about Pawan and his journey, and I think that will make me
Thank you so much. So it's the time to say goodbye. It was nice meeting with you. Thank you so much, all the wonderful ladies and gentlemen, for joining us and sharing your promising experience with us. I would like to thank Mr. Philip, Mr. Shahid, Ms. Shanila, and all other personnel from PUAN, US Embassy, and USFP for organizing this talk. Many thanks for giving me the opportunity for moderating this wonderful session as well. To this end, I believe that this is not the ending actually. This is the start of a new journey of collaboration, promoting regional integration and teaching and research partnership with all of you. And I am very much looking forward to that. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
Thank you
much.
so much, everyone.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Mr.
Have a
Bye.
Thank